All right, kids. So we are going to combine. We're going to combine the old negative angle identities. We're going to combine that with those co-function identities that we had talked about before. So we already know that sine of 90 minus x is equal to cosine of x. What I want to find out here, what I want to find out first is what if I had rearranged these and looked at sine of x minus 90? Let's try to figure out what this is, okay? So sine of x minus 90, well, that's going to be the same as, this is going to equal, all right, so this is the one in question. I already know this up top. I got that up top, frozen. That's going to be equal to sine of, what I'm going to do is take a negative away from both of these. So negative 1, and this is going to make this 90 minus x. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Negative 1 times 90, that gives me negative 90. Negative 1 times negative x gives me positive x. So I factored out a negative 1 from the inside. But now that I have sine of a negative angle, I can use this identity. Instead of sine of a negative angle, I can take that negative and pull it out front. All right. So that means this is going to equal, negative sine of that same angle, 90 minus x. Okay? So actually, I've seen this before. Yeah. Sine of 90 minus x, sine of 90 minus x is equal to cosine of x. So I could rewrite this as negative cosine of x. And that's what sine of x minus 90 is. Sine of x minus 90 is equal to negative cosine of x. All right, so I know that was a bit of a weirdo, but there's actually a whole bunch of these. And all I'm doing is I'm rearranging these terms algebraically, and then I'm kind of borrowing from one of these identities from before. So like I said before, don't worry if you're freaking out like, oh, I have no idea what he's doing. Just right now I'm laying the groundwork. All right, I'm doing it algebraically. Here in a little while I'm going to show you how this kind of connects graphically. That's what I'm after. Okay, don't worry if you can't remember all these identities. I don't remember the identities. All right, I actually have them written down in a book somewhere. All right, and that's the one we just found. Was we had sine of 90 minus theta. We already had that one, and we just found sine of theta minus 90 to equal cosine. So we just had that one. All right. If I were to do the next one, let's say I had cosine. I know that cosine of 90 minus theta is equal to sine of theta. I already know that, but what if I wanted to rearrange it? Let's say I wanted to find cosine of theta minus 90. This is what I'm going to look for. So this is going to equal cosine of negative 90 minus theta, doing the same thing as before. Negative 1 times 90 is negative 90. Negative 1 times negative theta is positive theta. So I'm just taking this and I'm factoring out a negative 1 from it. So it just rearranges the terms. Instead of theta minus 90, I get 90 minus theta. And now cosine of a negative angle, hopefully remember what that is. That's one that's actually worth remembering. Cosine of a negative angle is equal to cosine of that same angle. So I can pretty much get rid of this negative. Right? So this is equal to cosine of 90 minus theta. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. I just got rid of that negative sign. Well, I know what cosine of 90 minus theta is. That's equal to sine of theta. So this is equal to sine of theta. And what I had started with was this expression up here. Cosine of theta minus 90. There it is. So for cosine, it doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter here. If you do cosine of 90 minus theta, that's equal to sine of theta. This is that cofunction identity, just thinking in terms of the triangle. But if you switch it around and do theta minus 90, you end up with the same answer. All right. So we got that one too. But with sine, it did not work that way. Sine, it was the opposite actually. For sine, if you did sine of 90 minus theta, you got cosine. But if you rearranged it, you actually get negative cosine. All right. Again, we're going to look at these graphically later. I think I've got 2 of them left. Yeah, I've got 2 of them left here. So we've done the ones where it's theta minus 90, or if it's 90 minus theta. We've done these bottom 4. Now I'm going to look at these top 2 here. Okay. So theta plus. All right. Let's pretend we don't have it, and then we'll figure it out. Pause. Okay. So we're gonna simplify sine of theta plus 90. So not a minus here. So this time we're adding 90 to it. You remember once upon a time we had looked at this little identity? We could rewrite sine of any angle as cosine of 90 minus that angle. All right, that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to rewrite, instead of sine of this angle, I'm going to rewrite it as cosine of 90 minus whatever this angle is, this entire angle right here. So minus, and then it's going to be theta plus 90, like that. All right, so to simplify this, I'm going to get cosine of, it's going to be 90, distribute my negative, so it's going to be minus theta minus 90. And this is going to be cosine of negative theta. The 90s just cancel each other out, one positive, one negative. And cosine of negative theta, all right, so if you remember that one, cosine of negative theta was equal to cosine of theta. All right, that was my negative angle identity. Cosine of negative theta is equal to cosine of theta. So all of that means that sine of theta plus 90 is equal to cosine of theta. Got it. Got it. All right, let's do it the other way. So instead of sine of theta plus 90, let's simplify cosine of theta plus 90. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this in terms of sine. So that's going to be sine of 90 minus this entire angle. All right, so this is going to be theta plus 90. Distribute my negative in. It's going to be 90 minus theta minus 90. The 90s cancel out. So I get negative theta. And then sine of negative theta is equal to negative sine of theta. All right, and I'll bring down my left side now. Cosine of theta plus 90. There we have it. Oh, I think that's all of them. Yes, that should be all of them. So we had cosine of theta plus 90 is equal to negative sine of theta. These are all of the sine and cosine cofunction identities, right? And we proved them using, well, mainly using these two down here. All right, these are the ones, the original cofunction identities that we had. But to get the other ones, we had to do the negative angle identities, right? And there's 6 for sine and cosine. In turn, there's going to be 6 for tangent and cotangent. There's going to be 6 for cosecant and secant as well. All right, so that's good for this one. Like I said, don't try to memorize these. Just maybe have them written down somewhere. They might. I'm not actually going to be quizzing you on them. What I'm going to do in the next video is try to show you graphically how they kind of make sense. All right.